Here we are at the Evergreen Cemetery of South Hadley, Massachusetts. We're going to have a tour in this cemetery this year. This is a beautiful cemetery. It was made in the year 1868, and it's made in basically a lawn concept, but also a garden concept mixed together. Inside of it, though, in between all these modern graves are the very old graves that used to belong to the old South Hadley burial ground that used to be behind the Gaylord Library. The Gaylord Library was put in place in front of it. In 1904, the full move was done, but partial moves were done between 1868 to about 1891. The reason why is because people that had deceased inside the old South Hadley burial ground wanted their deceased person to have a better cemetery to be in. This was a better cemetery compared to the old one. And so they bought plots and moved, paid for the move, lots of money. But in 1904, South Hadley got permission to move many burials in the back of this cemetery, and about 406 burials were put in place at that point in the very back. In the same year, maybe over 100 burials were put into the body of Evergreen. The people would have to have paid for the burial plot to be put into the body. They didn't want to be in the back. So you have a mixture of old stones in the main body of Evergreen, which are from 1868 to 1880 individual moves, and some are from the 1904 concentrated move, and then you have all the beautiful burials in the very back. So we're going to sweep through the cemetery, and I'll describe the sections. Along this road.
Mm-hmm.
You see it? You see what I'm looking at?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Ready? Okay. In the very back, you see here the old side burial ground has been transplanted from the road to the very back of Evergreen. And it still has its individual characters. It's been broken into quadrants, and we'll go back to it in a few minutes. Now, sweeping around the cemetery, you see a very modern place back here. There's still very much room inside the cemetery, and you're going to see that this cemetery is filled with modern burials, and it has some from the 19 teens to 1950s, but most of them are from the 1960s to today. The reason why South Hadley's population has grown drastically. You see in front of you a big plot that's still empty. You won't see behind you, which is woods, but that's owned by Evergreen, so someday they can clear it out. Now you see it in front of you, the plot that I think about 100 yards from us is where a lot of the individual burials and the concentrated move of family members took place in 1904, and then people had to pay for those plots. We'll keep sweeping through. And what we see another 100 yards in front of us, a lot more of the family burials from the 1904 move are maybe from the 1868 to 1891 paid move by family members. And then lastly, along this road, we'll actually go down there at some point, but in the very corner of that road where it meets the woods was where a temporary bridge was put in, made out of wood, where they could haul the bodies and the stones from the old side burial ground into Evergreen. Thank you.